I have not had an abortion. I've been around them since I was basically a fetus myself, because I'm from a very, very tight-lipped Presbyterian family, and the women who have had them never talk about them and basically go to their graves thinking that they're living with this eternal shame that will basically emotionally kill them, and that is how they live, and that makes me super uncomfortable and very sad. And I don't ever want to be that person, and I don't want anyone to feel like they have to be that person. So that's why I'm here. I was sexually assaulted at a frat party when I was 15. I didn't come from really a supportive or safe home in any way. I didn't know who to go to. And at the time I was going through like a very heavy self-medicating phase. I was usually on Percocet, but really anything that I could get. And at the time I was very lonely and I didn't know anyone and I kept to myself, but I had a friend from junior high who invited me to go to this frat party at Stanford, and I thought, what the hell, like maybe I'll make some friends. And I went to that with her. We got there, she pretty much split off immediately, and I was alone for the rest of the night. Someone handed me a drink. I didn't know what was in it, but I thought it would help, and drank it, and it had something in it. I still don't know what was in it, but it was roofie adjacent. When I realized that the painkillers that were already in my system were mixing weirdly with whatever was in that drink, I staggered upstairs and tried to make myself puke in the bathroom. A guy came into the bathroom after me, locked the door, and forced himself on me. Basically, the only weapon that I had at my disposal, because I'm 5'2", was that I was already sick. And so in his efforts to sexually assault me, I puked on him. And he backed up, and I was able to force myself back out of the bathroom. And as I was running downstairs, I blacked out. And when I woke up, I was getting my stomach pumped on the front lawn of the frat house. And as luck should have it, since my parents are doctors, and I've been a part of the medical community in that area for a long time, I knew the EMT who was pumping my stomach. Wonderful guy whose name is Chris. And he helped me out and made sure that I was okay and conscious. And at that point, someone had called the cops because a girl had passed out on the stairs, that girl being me. And so when I came to, 2 cops were there breaking up the frat party and taking out minors and questioning the people who were there. And as I was sitting against the EMT vehicle, I saw the guy who had assaulted me walking out of the house. And at that point, the cops were asking me what had happened. And I pointed out the guy, and the cops told me that I was doped up and I was making it up, and that no one forced themselves on me, and that I was drunk and I wanted attention. So I couldn't get any legal help from them, and I couldn't press charges because I didn't know his name. So I decided that I didn't want to talk to them anymore. I had Chris make them leave, and I didn't know where else to go, so I stayed there, drank some Gatorade, tried to calm down, and Chris asked me if I had anywhere to go, and I said no. So he drove me to the nearest Planned Parenthood, which at that time was 24 hours, and now is a Mercedes dealership, but at the time was a 24-hour Planned Parenthood near Stanford. And got there, thankfully it was a pretty quiet night, and so 2 women helped me into a room pretty immediately and sat me down, did a full rape kit, made sure I was okay physically, and calmed me down, got me on a saline drip, like had a doctor present who was able to examine me, sat me down, asked me my story, asked me questions, made sure I felt comfortable, made sure that I knew that it wasn't my fault, and that I wasn't to blame for not only that someone had forced themselves on me, but also that I wasn't to blame for being a lonely, scared 15-year-old with nowhere to go. And at that time, no one had ever told me that. I had had no idea that my own life wasn't my fault. And it had never occurred to me that things that had happened to me weren't of my own making. I knew that I wasn't in control of my life, but I wasn't aware that I wasn't also responsible for the traumas that had been done to me. And just in that one concept alone, Planned Parenthood has been essential in the forming of my own character since that moment. Those women were so kind. They gave me a place to rest. They let me stay the night. And in the morning, made sure that someone gave me a ride home. Someone was there to provide me with, electrolyte beverages and Tylenol and literature on like what these experiences mean. One of the women gave me a copy of The Feminine Mystique. It was wonderful. It was a community, and I had never experienced that before. And since then, that was when I was 15. I didn't tell another soul about that experience until I was 21. I told my sister, and when we had that conversation, it turned out that she had also been sexually assaulted. So all I've learned from this, basically, in a nutshell, is that you have to talk about your experiences. You have to support people. You have to know that these actually aren't rare occurrences. They happen all the time, and they happen to people you love and the people you know. And if you don't talk about them, you never heal from them, and you never get to learn about the people around you. So in my experience, Planned Parenthood is essential, and the female community is essential, and understanding, accepting, and forgiving the people around you is what helps you heal and learn. And that is my story. So thank you for listening.